What's up, you guys? All right, well, here we are Thursday morning, and I'm finishing the morning up $59,000 on my day trades, and I've got a little profit on my swing trades, although I have a trade on Amazon and also a trade on Apple that are not working out super well right now, but we'll see how they do. And trades on Disney, Etsy, Netflix, and Roku that are all in the green. So, kind of a crazy day today, both trying to take day trades, working with swing trades, and keeping an eye on the overall market, but green is good, another strong day. So I hope you guys enjoy the recap. And remember, tomorrow morning, right around 8:45, 9 a.m., I will be live streaming right here on YouTube, my pre-market watch list. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and tomorrow, if we get 3,000 thumbs up while I'm live streaming the pre-market watch list, well, maybe I'll go ahead and live stream and give you guys a free Friday live streaming my actual trading right on YouTube. All right, so hope you guys are doing well. Enjoy the rest of the day. And as always, questions, comments on today's recap, leave them down below, and we'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. What's up, everyone? All right, so we're gonna do our midday market recap here, go over the trades from this morning. I'm finishing the morning up $59,274.72. So I'll put that right there for you. Not a bad day. We are seeing some, definitely some more momentum today than we saw yesterday. You know, yeah, and yesterday was kind of interesting because it just felt like across the board, things were slow, except for BFRA, which, you know, when I was kind of logging off at 11:30 or whatever, it was at that time halted right here. And on the day in total, it had less than 20,000 shares of volume. So it had 6,000 shares in this candle. So go back to the beginning. It opened the day with 1,100 shares, a red candle. So halt, 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 halt. And so, you know, then it halted coming down, then gapped up and halted going up. I mean, it went from $10 to $55. We have seen this happen on several other occasions. We've seen it happen with, we saw it with LTRPB. Yeah, I think that was it. Duo, Wins, there's a few others, but in any case, it's not the first time we've seen this happen, but the problem is always that it's so hard to manage risk when you have the volume that light and the spreads are as big as they are. You know, that's where we kind of have a situation. So, you know, at this point, you know, I just left that one alone. I was like, no, I don't want to push my luck on it. I'm just going to leave it alone. So no trades on that yesterday. Good job for those of you guys that did trade it. It totaled with about 1.29 million shares of volume. So it did get some more volume by the end of the day, but you know, overall it was probably pretty high risk and big spreads. So anyways, yesterday, aside from that, there really wasn't too much going on. This morning when we sat down, AVTC was already making a pretty big move. Pre-market had squeezed up to 13. And so when I was sitting down, I sat down around 8:30 or so. So it was like around here. So I was like, okay, wow, this stock has made a really big move. You can see that I made 21,000 on it. It pulled back, and when it came back up right here, I bought for the break of the pre-market high of 1278 for the break of 13. And that did end up working out relatively well. As you can see, it ended up squeezing here up to 1420. But then when the bell rang, this halted going down. I did get a bounce trade off the low and back up through the VWAP here, but the majority of my profit was on this trade pre-market and then this bounce right down here back up to the VWAP. Probably about half profit on, maybe about 15,000 pre-market and the rest here. I was up a little bit more on it and then gave back about $8,000 or $6,000 trying to do a dip trade at 10 and stopping out at like 980 or something like that. So again, this is kind of discouraging on the one hand to have such an awesome pre-market move, and on the other hand, it didn't hold that level, and then it pulled back as much as it did, when the market opened. 2 weeks ago, we were seeing these stocks not only be really strong pre-market, but continue that momentum into the open. And so at the open, we were seeing the stock squeeze through, the pre-market highs and going to new high a day. And that's what we've been kind of missing, or I've been certainly missing for the last few trading sessions. So, I don't want to get up at 7 in the morning. I know that sometimes there's opportunities even earlier than when I sit down. But the fact is, and one of the problems is that at that time, you're kind of back into that situation of BFRA where you're trading stocks that have very light volume. And with that light volume, the spreads are bigger. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know it, 7.15, you could end up taking a dollar a share loss on a trade that you thought was going to be the next big one and just failed. And then you're starting the day deep in the hole. Because when you trade stocks with big spreads and light volume, your risk is almost always, it's much harder to just jump back out of it for a small loss. If it goes the wrong way, you're looking at potentially a much bigger loss. So this is where I sit on the month right now before today. 114 on Monday, 69,000 on Tuesday, 3,000 yesterday. And now today is going to be 59,000 once I import that. So, I'm in good shape on the month, no doubt about that. I'm over $200,000 in profit, and we're only 4 days in. But it is a little disappointing that we're not seeing sort of bigger and better follow through from some of these setups, which, I was hoping, I was hoping we would see a little bit more action. So the next one down is ADTX. ADTX, I'm up 37,000 on, and that's because this one did make a real attempt at retesting those pre-market highs. It didn't get all the way there, but it made a really nice attempt. It squeezed up from 7 up to 850 here. That was a trade I took. Then it pulled back and it came up for a second attempt. So both of these trades were break a VWAP setup, and then buying the pullback on the 1 minute, buying the pullback and riding that momentum. This one halted a couple of times, both going up and going down, but gave some really nice opportunities. Kodak, this was a little choppy, but I did trade for the first daily candle to make a new high, which was over 16. So that was my entry, right down here, which on the intraday chart was a long right here at 16. And we actually got to move up to 1750. I only made $1,000 on it, but it was still nice. And DNLI is the last one I traded, and unfortunately that one, it made a big move here, and I did the first trade was a long right here, and then the next trade was right through here, and I stopped out. Winner on the first, loser on the second, so it just wasn't super easy to trade. So a little discouraging on Kodak, and then again on DNLI, not to have better follow through, but at the end of the day, green is good, and I'm green across, net green on the day. So 59,000. On my swing trades, those are a little bit of a different story. I am kind of not in great shape on my Amazon trade, which is a little discouraging as well. That one's actually coming down a bit more here. So Amazon, I'm kind of frustrated, and that's probably an indicator right there that it's not going to be a good trade. So I'm frustrated because yesterday I took a trade on Amazon where I sold the 3,100 puts, and that was pretty early in the day, and then I set a stop on it. Walked away for a while, came back and saw that I was stopped out for like a $20 loss, and that, then the stock had ripped all the way up to here. And I was like, what the heck? My stop was, I said $1,000, maybe it was a $500 stop loss on it. Why did I get stopped out for a $20 loss? And so this happened. This is now the third time it's happened with TD Ameritrade on options trades, where I've set a stop, I've walked away, and I've come back and seen that I got stopped out, even though it didn't actually, I was never at that $500 max loss. So I know other people have complained about TD Ameritrade and having issues with it in varying degrees, and it seems like perhaps I'm having an issue there as well with the stop orders. And so right now I don't have stops on these trades because I don't want to get stopped out again. for a $10, $20 loss, only for it to continue to go in the right direction. Now, one of the reasons I don't use Lightspeed for options is because the Lightspeed options chain is, the whole Lightspeed options chain is a little bit difficult to use. So if I go over here to, let's see, now where is it? Actually, I might not have it on this. Let's see, let's go down. Actually, might not have it. Let me switch over to my other account here. I'm not sure if this login has options enabled, but in any case, it's kind of a it's a difficult. It's just not an intuitive setup that they have for trading options, and they don't allow you to use any stops. Well, maybe that's because of the issue I'm having here, but you'd think they'd be able to figure it out. So in any case, I am a little annoyed with that. So I got stopped out on Amazon, and I was like, well, I can't sell the puts now because now they're much, much less than what I got them for. And I was like, you know what? This looks like it's strong. So I think it might actually have a chance of breaking or at least testing this 32.50 level tomorrow or Friday. So I'm going to take a debit spread. Instead of doing a credit spread, I'm going to switch gears and do a debit spread. Well, the market pulled back a little bit this morning. It sold off. It's come back up, but it hasn't broken yesterday's high, so I'm down $500 on that trade. My max loss on it is about 1,100. That's the max loss, so it's not that bad. But I'm halfway to the max loss, which isn't great. But on the other hand, the max loss is pretty close, so I'm not super concerned about that. And the max profit potential, if it does go to 32.50, would be about $4,000. So it's a good profit loss ratio, but it's not looking great right now. I might end up seeing that max loss. Apple, I sold the 470 call spread, and Apple is continuing to go a little higher, but 470 is way up here. So although I'm down 198 on it, this is the call spread, it's it's not killing me yet, and I could, the only thing there is that I'm kind of at, the max profit on this was like $200, the difference between 99 cents and $1.21. So I'm kind of at the 1-to-1 stop loss, but and it is next week, so it doesn't expire tomorrow. So it might be one that I should just take off the table and take the $200 loss rather than let it get bigger, because the max loss on that could go much higher. So that's Apple. I did take one day trade on AVCT in this account, but the order execution wasn't very good, so I didn't take any more. Disney, I'm holding the August 14th 120 puts. So those are up a little bit. That's about at the 200 moving average. So I'm using that as the spot where I would buy that dip. So Disney 200 or 120 puts. Etsy, I sold the 115 put and then did a 115 put spread here for next week. So those are both, well, this spread is sort of not in good shape, but the other one for weekly is in good shape. And I also did a 150 call spread. This had earnings yesterday and is kind of coming down a little bit. So I don't think it's going to come down to 115 by tomorrow. I'm not even sure if it will come all the way down there, but that's also support on the daily chart right here. That would be bouncing off previous support. So I'm okay with doing a put spread there, and I'm doing the call spread just a little bit out of the money. So I feel pretty confident that'll expire worthless, and I'll keep that premium. Netflix, I'm in good shape on with a 465 put and a 440 by 450 put spread. That one is based on this kind of consolidation here and setting those basically a strike or a little bit below the low of the last real pullback, which was 467. And Roku also had earnings and is coming back down, so I sold the 170 call spread, which is the high back here, the high of this move. So basically that's the call spread, and that expires tomorrow. So I'll probably be able to keep that profit in my pocket as well. So I'm in good shape on those, but Amazon is the one that's not so great, and I don't know. I'm kind of just annoyed with the whole thing, to be honest, because this is how sometimes this happens where, you have whatever. Maybe it's a tech error like what I had. Maybe it's maybe it's just you missed a trade and then you sort of can't chase that. So then you overcompensate and flip gears. You're like, oh well, and I can't go long now, so now I'll just short it because I'm frustrated. And well, now I'm down $500 on that. So now I'm red on both of them. I'm red on the one that stopped me out, which it shouldn't have stopped me out on, and now I'm red on the one that I flipped gears on, or switch gears on. So, yeah, I don't know. On the one hand, I do think it looks good for a retest of 32.50, but the expiration is tomorrow. So, the overall market right now feels really top heavy, but of course, if we get news, the economic stimulus for Americans getting approved, then we might see a squeeze and a gap up. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm already halfway to my max loss on it. I might as well just kind of see it through. On the one hand, it's like if I stare at the chart, I could talk myself just to bail out of it because it doesn't look great. But then on the other hand, if I'm down 500, what's an extra 500? And the fact is, I am up 59,000 on the day on my day trades. But, the swing trades kind of have to stand on their own. And the goal is that I generate some passive income on the side with these day trades. And so I need, to kind of feel like these are working for me. And right now, the Apple and Amazon ones are not. Apple has been a little frustrating because I kept thinking it was going to reverse, and it just keeps kind of going higher. But, with selling premium, I have the advantage on my side, which is time decay. But this, you don't want to risk 500 on something that only has the potential to make you 250. And that's kind of what this is going to get close to being if I keep holding it too much longer. Now, I could set a stop on it, but given I've had 3 times now where I set a stop with a limit. So right now here, for instance, I could set a stop with a limit at 50, but then I might come back and see that it stopped me out at 40. And, it's like something triggered it, and I'm not sure what. I don't know if using bid or mark changes things with the stop orders. But that's kind of a frustrating issue when you cannot depend on your platform. And that's the criticism that a lot of people have had with TD Ameritrade, and that's one of the reasons I hesitate to day trade with it, because it doesn't always, in my experience, perform really well. So anyways, I did try to take a trade in it on ABCT. This is, my retirement account, and I actually felt pretty good about that, about the stock in general. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So that's where I sit on my swing trades. I feel good about Etsy, Disney, Netflix, and Roku. But Amazon and Apple, I'm not feeling as confident with, although the overall market's probably going to be a big factor in the success or failure of both of those trades. So I'll keep an eye on them. I might go ahead. I mean, the Apple, see, the double top here is 446.55. So that kind of makes sense as a possible stop on the chart. But that would probably be like a $250 loss on this. Although one of the ideas I did have with the Apple trade, because my potential to profit was only $200, was that I was going to be looking to scale in if we started to see Apple roll over. But since it hasn't rolled over, now I'm just wondering if I'll have to cut the loss. All right, so that's that. And Amazon, I mean, all things considered, Amazon is above the volume weighted average price, so it is still bullish. Needs to break back over 3,200, and it could be that today, like if today closed exactly as it is, and then tomorrow first candle to make a new high, then we're talking about a daily ABCD pattern. So this still definitely has potential. It's just a question of whether I would prefer to just take a $500 loss right now, or let it, hold for an extra $500 and really see it through. So I think at this point I'll just hold for the extra $500 and see it through, $1,100 is my max loss on it, roughly. Apple, on the other hand, because the thing with Amazon is because the debit spread, if it works, I could make $4,000. So it's a good profit loss ratio. With Apple, if it works, I make only 200 unless I add to it. So it's not a very good profit loss ratio. So that one I have to keep a tighter stop on in general. So back to a couple of the stocks from today, ADTX, at the volume weighted average price, a little consolidation. And the thing with these is that they can, once they kind of fail to make new highs, they can lose a little bit of interest. People kind of start to give up on them. All right, this one's not going to give us that crazy move. And they can start to fade. But as we did see with ADTX, it started to fade here and then all of a sudden ripped back up. And so, if that happened again, because it is still above the VWAP, and it rips up to 9, 950, 10, then, that's when you're starting to talk about a short squeeze and short covering. So I do think that we've probably seen more, a little bit more struggle with some of these moves this week. We haven't seen as many like 300, 400% kind of straight up crazy moves, except for that BFRA stock. So short sellers might be a little bit more aggressive, but that can also be a good thing, because then during periods of consolidation, if we do see a breakout, we can see a big short squeeze. So, and that usually is what fuels the next big short squeeze, is short sellers starting to get overconfident. Just, the same as the first big fail is the result of long traders being overconfident and then, bailing out as the stock just totally crashes. Short sellers are looking for that. So as a long trader, we're looking for, a bunch of false breakouts. We're looking for, a period of choppiness, and then that first stock where you think it's going to do the false breakout actually rips, and now short sellers are like, whoa, okay, I got to cover this, fuels the next leg up, and then that starts a really powerful cycle of short selling, short covering, and long traders jumping in, and a 200, 300, 400% type of move. So I don't know if we're going to see that tomorrow, or maybe not till next week, but that's the next thing that I'd be kind of looking for in order to have probably another like really big green day. So again, it's capitalizing on the volatility in the market. More volatility today, but I could always go for a little bit more. Volatility equals opportunity for active traders. All right, so that's it for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and we'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning, Friday, to finish off the week with hopefully a couple more green trades, and maybe we'll have a wild card Friday. Who knows? All right, so take care, you guys. I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. And that right there was an entire video with no ads. I don't monetize my YouTube channel with video ads, which means you guys get to enjoy the content. But do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up, and let YouTube know that this channel is the channel to watch if you want to learn about day trading.